Alright, today's the day. We're going to separate the back half from the front half. The way I'm going to do that, I think, these are these frame rails here that are these here, so you can see them coming back and then going under there. And they are, can't really see here because I've welded a patch on, but they are spot welded up here. Now, and that's where the firewall, all this firewall comes down and then is spot welded along here. So the plan of attack today, I think, is first off I'm going to grab the engine hoist again. I'm going to rig up this whole front end on the engine hoist, because as soon as I start dismantling all this and pulling it apart, there's nothing actually holding off the ground. So I'm going to grab the engine hoist, hold that up, and I'm going to come down and I'm going to drill out these spot welds here. That's that inner frame coming down and welding onto one of these rails under the car. Drill out those spot welds. That'll release it from the chassis, the rest of the frame. Then I reckon I'll probably end up cutting along here and then up, and then probably just across here. I could try to go through and drill out all those spot welds, but they're going to be the hardest spots to get to. I mean, I could. Just don't know if I can be bothered. It's getting to that point now. I just want the back half of this car gone. I want to jump onto the red car. I'm done with this. So yeah, I think I'll probably just cut it around there and then across, and that's how I'll separate all this back end, which in theory should still be up on the stands, so that shouldn't go anywhere. This should be being held up by the engine hoist. I might change my mind, I might try to drill them out, but I think I'll cut it. Then I've got to find somewhere to take all this scrap metal. Hopefully somewhere close. Alright. So I reckon we crack on with that. Alright, so I decided definitely not going to do those spot welds because I couldn't be stuffed. So what I've done is I've come along, I've made that cut around, down and across. I was also going to take these spot welds out here. I've decided what I'll probably do is I'll just cut straight up there. Straight up there, and then that'll tie in with this cut here hopefully. So straight up there and across. Now I think that should all come loose. You can see there it's I think the only thing holding it on right now is it's still connected to these things, still welded onto these. because the cut obviously goes down there, and these things are welded, I think spot welded just on that side, but we'll sort that out. All right, there it is. Separation between the two. Finally, that is that's a big milestone, because it means that now all this can go, and I can find somewhere to put that. It's a pretty big object to find a spot for, but I think what I'll probably do is I'm going to get rid of that during the week on a trailer, move the red car back into the middle. I think I might take some of this stuff over here and shove that on this wall, and then I reckon that will go in this corner here. Running out of room. Need a bigger workshop. But that's where we're at. Finally, after all these episodes of chopping and drilling spot welds out, the front's off, the back is going, and then the real fun's going to begin, I think. I think in the forthcoming episodes I'm going to be learning to weld on this guy that I bought, teach myself that, so that's going to be worth a laugh, and then try to tackle some of the smaller rust panels on this red car. The more I sort of, I guess, watch other people restoring cars and fixing rust and all the rest of it, I realise this car is a bit of a gem, because there's not really any rust on it apart from that stuff that's in the, well, doing this one, on the inner driver's footwell, which is going to be out of sight anyway, so that's not a huge deal. I'll still do it all properly. And the bits of rust down there on these rear quarters, which again will be pretty much out of sight. All the other rust areas are sort of just a few spots along these window edges on the front and the back. So thankfully, I don't reckon I'll have much of an issue with all this welding nice, beautiful panels and getting warping and all the rest of that, because all the welding I'm going to do is sort of tucked away and hidden. Like if the floor pan, if when that floor pan's going in it slightly warps, it's not a huge deal, because it's going to be covered in, you know, rock protector underneath and underlaying carpet on the top, so you're not really going to see if there's a slight warp in it. As long as the seat rails all line up, I think we'll be good. So that's it for today. Big milestone. Happy with that. Righto. Job today. Move all this around. Move this car over. Figure out what I'm doing with that. Whether it stays there until I get it taken away, or I put it with all the other panels. I'm going to move everything around, I think. I'm going to put all this shelving back on this wall, and I'm going to move that up there, I reckon. It's getting way too crowded in here. All right, done. Everything is where it should be now. Shelves are back on that side. Tool chest is over there. Only one car in the garage. I put the front end here because I think there's probably would have been more room here. Because I've got all this space here, and if it was over there, it would have been sticking out too far and would have been an issue. It works well now. I've got the air compressor right next to that power point, so I can use that. The welder slots nicely in there. So yeah, I think this is a definite milestone now. Back to one car in the garage, which means I can now just totally focus on that. So I think next week I'm going to get into looking at some of the rust around these windows. That's a nice introduction into figuring that out, and you have to really quickly learn how to weld because I want to do it all myself. But yeah, so there we are. Look at that, lovely, so much more room. All right, till next week.